Hey everyone, and a very warm welcome. I'm absolutely thrilled to be your guide today as we explore a seriously transformative approach to wellness. Here at Pratimoksha, Dubai's premier yoga studio, we constantly see people walking through our doors who are searching for something so much deeper than just a standard workout. They're looking for lasting relief. So today we're going to dive into the profound difference our specialized studio offers, walking you through our internal philosophy, our clinical foundations, and our highly personalized healing methods. Let's get right into it.
To kick things off, I've got a slightly bold question for you. Are you expecting way too much from your yoga class? We talk with so many professionals right here in Dubai who feel, frankly, totally stuck or frustrated. You might be going to general fitness classes week after week, rolling out your mat, but you're still lugging around this lingering physical pain or feeling totally burnt out mentally. And you're probably wondering, why aren't I feeling any better? Well, if that hits home for you, I want to assure you right now, you are absolutely not alone, and there's a really clear reason why this is happening.
Which brings us to Section 1, Beyond the Group Class. We absolutely love standard group yoga. It's fantastic, and it's a great starting point. But in our experience here at Pratimoksha, standard yoga does have some very real limitations when you're looking for targeted, true healing.
Look, group classes build discipline, they create this vibrant community, and they get you moving. But, and this is a huge but, the sequencing, the cues, the pace, they're calibrated for a whole room full of people, right? Not for you as an individual. So if you walk in dealing with a herniated disc, or maybe some past trauma, or a nervous system that is just entirely fried from stress, a general class is really only going to help at the absolute margins. It's just not set up to get to the root cause of what's bothering your specific body.
So let's break down exactly where we draw the line between these two experiences. In a standard yoga class, you're stepping into a shared, generalized space. Everyone follows the exact same sequence, no matter how terribly they slept the night before or what nagging injuries they have. But true yoga therapy, which is the absolute heart of what we do at Pratimoksha, is a whole different ballgame. It's totally individualized, it's specific, and it responds directly to a person, not a generic script. We aren't just giving you a routine to sweat through, we're designing a responsive, targeted process specifically for your body.
So how do we actually define what we do? That takes us to Section 2, Defining True Yoga Therapy. Let's really shift gears and look at our therapy as a highly structured discipline that picks up exactly where the general group class leaves off.
And I want to be really clear here. Our methods aren't just some nice philosophy. They are totally grounded in measurable, peer-reviewed science. In fact, a 2023 report from the International Association of Yoga Therapists actually confirms clinically meaningful outcomes from this exact approach. We're talking real, documented relief for chronic pain, intense anxiety, and even complex metabolic and respiratory issues. Plus, research out of the Journal of Alternative and Complementary Medicine shows that tailored yoga therapy consistently outperforms general classes for clinical populations. Why? Because it specifically targets your unique medical history and your unique nervous system.
Our founder, Lalitha Viswanath, anchors everything we do in one incredibly beautiful belief. She says, the body's intelligence is not the problem, it is the resource. Now, with over 19 years of deep expertise in studying and teaching classical yoga, Lalitha has made this the ultimate guiding light for every single therapeutic decision we make. Our job at Pratimoksha isn't to aggressively force your body to change. No way. Our job is to expertly create the exact right conditions so your body's own vast intelligence can just step up and do the deep healing work it inherently knows how to do.
Because of that core philosophy, our approach looks quite a bit different from what you might be used to. As we often teach at Pratimoksha, yoga therapy operates a lot more like a clinical consultation. It requires our instructors to constantly observe, carefully adjust, and continuously refine your nervous system over time. We don't just hand you a generic list of poses and say good luck. Instead, we are continuously responding to the living, breathing person right in front of us, making sure every single movement actually serves a distinct therapeutic purpose.
Now, to really tackle this modern epidemic of chronic stress and postural collapse, we move into Section 3, our classical yoga foundation. We are leaning deeply into ancient roots to find modern solutions.
The therapeutic application of yoga is actually its original intent. It's deeply rooted in profound classical texts like the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali and the Hatha Yoga Pradipika. And I really want to stress this. This foundation isn't just decorative for us. It's not a historical footnote we use to sound authentic. The intense stuff bringing people into our Dubai studio today, like screen fatigue and massive corporate burnout, might seem incredibly modern, but the underlying physiological mechanisms, those are ancient. And our classical framework addresses those root mechanisms directly.
To make that happen, we draw on a whole toolbox of selective classical tools. We use asana,
which are the physical postures for strength and alignment. We use pranayama, or targeted breath work, to really regulate the nervous system. Pratyahara, which is the vital practice of withdrawing the senses to quiet an overwhelmed mind. And of course, deep meditation and philosophical inquiry. But here is the absolute key. We deploy these selectively. Not every tool works for every condition. Your therapy at Pratimoksha is completely custom-built from these time-tested elements, matched precisely to what you need.
Which naturally brings us to Section 4, Who Needs This Approach? Let's talk about finding real relief for the specific, high-pressure lifestyle that so many of us in this fast-paced community are juggling.
So, if you're managing things like herniated discs, severe joint or musculoskeletal issues, debilitating burnout, stress-related illnesses, hormonal imbalances, or even respiratory problems that are just getting worse from poor breathing mechanics, please listen closely. The crucial point here is this. If your condition hasn't responded to general medical approaches, standard physio, or regular gym routines, you are exactly the person we designed this model for. We specialize in those complex cases that standard fitness just frankly cannot solve.
Our whole approach is distinctly tailored for expats navigating huge life transitions, professionals working totally exhausting corporate hours, and really anyone who has only found partial relief through conventional treatments. Sometimes, you just sense deep down that your system is profoundly out of whack, even if you can't quite explain it to a doctor. It's that constant feeling of being totally drained or misaligned. Well, our individualized therapy is built from the ground up to help you uncover, understand, and finally heal that exact root issue.
All right, let's look at Section 5, the Pratimoksha healing process. I want to gently walk you through exactly what it looks and feels like the moment you step through the doors of our Aud Method studio.
We actually break our process down into 3 really clear, accessible steps to completely demystify the whole thing and make sure it's super safe. Step 1 is simply an intake and conversation. It's an unhurried assessment so we can deeply understand you, your history, and your daily life. Step 2 is a gradual practice introduction. And this is so critical because a fried nervous system is going to completely reject a sudden, overwhelming change. We have to move at the speed of trust, custom designing the practice for exactly where you're at right now. And finally, step 3 is evolution and refinement. As your body naturally responds over time, your practice seamlessly evolves right alongside you.
Now, I'm going to be really straight with you here. This is not a quick fix. There's no magic pill in yoga therapy. True therapeutic healing requires time, it requires deep honesty, and a genuine willingness to actually engage with what the practice reveals about your habits. But as Lalitha often teaches us, this process is powerful precisely because it puts you, the student, safely and firmly at the absolute center of your own recovery. We're here to expertly guide you, absolutely, but you are the one doing the profound work of healing.
Which brings us to an incredibly empowering question. Are you ready to become an active participant in your own recovery? Think about it. Most modern treatments treat you as a totally passive recipient, right? You lie on a table and someone does something to you. But true, lasting healing at Pratimoksha, that requires you to step up. It requires you to be a deeply aware participant in your own wellness journey. It takes your focus, your breath, and your presence.
So if you are just totally exhausted from merely managing symptoms, and you are finally ready for real, targeted healing, the first step is actually super simple. It's just a conversation. We'd love for you to reach out to us at Pratimoksha today to explore a free trial session. Come experience the Pratimoksha difference firsthand and start feeling like yourself again. But before we wrap up, I just want to leave you with one final thought to chew on. If your body has the sheer intelligence to carry you through years of immense stress, pain, and daily strain, imagine what it could achieve if you finally gave it the exact tools it needs to truly heal. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today, and we honestly can't wait to welcome you into the studio very soon.